for having me back to perform at the stand again. Not that you had a choice. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Kiani Jeacock. That's right, another academic who's sensitive about their title. I did not suffer in silence. So, I'm the kind of doctor that flight attendants will trust to sit in the emergency exit row of a plane, but not the kind that you want to respond when they say, "Is there a doctor on board?" So in other words, like a true academic, I will save myself first, and then do fuck all to help anybody else. What it actually means is I've got a PhD in chemistry, and as you can see from the fact I do comedy as a side hustle, a very successful academic career. But actually, I did my PhD in chemistry at Edinburgh, but I'm actually a biochemist at heart. Now, those of you who aren't in either of those fields are probably wondering what the difference is, because the words are pretty much the same. And that's exactly what I thought when I started my PhD nearly 7 years ago. I already had my master's in biochemistry, so doing a PhD in chemistry surely shouldn't be that different, right? Oh my God, was I wrong? So the easiest way I can try to explain it is if you've ever been to Europe and tried to drive on the wrong side of the road. Sorry, the other side of the road. Theoretically, it's the same. In fact, you've done a test and actually have a qualification that says that you can do it. But when you actually try to do it, you realize it's a lot harder than it looks. And you quickly become a danger to yourself and everyone else around you. This analogy brought to you from someone that can't actually drive, so take from that what you want. I specialize in an analytical chemistry technique known as mass spectrometry. Mass spectrometry is the art of weighing molecules in a vacuum. So in space, no one can hear you scream, but I can still determine if you lied about the number of biscuits you ate after dinner. Basically, I'm an expert at looking at very, very, very small things with large instruments. That's how I met my boyfriend, who's sitting over there. PhD students, but I swear I did use that skill to actually try and solve some scientific problems. My research focused on studying the protein that potentially causes Parkinson's disease. So I thought my time was going to be spent opening up new exciting avenues of research, changing lives and potentially curing diseases. But instead it was 4 years of crying in front of a computer, desperately trying to find matching peaks in my mass spectrometry data. So for those non-mass spec experts, to help you visualize what these mean, think about those toys for very young children where you're trying to fit the shape into the matching holes, like a square into a square hole. So it's like that, but you try it in 1,000 different ways, and then eventually you just shove the triangle into the square hole, put some sellotape around it, write 250 pages about it, an old man bonks you on the head with a hat, and you get to call yourself a doctor. PhD completed it. Mass spectrometers are about as reliable as our glorious Scottish weather. They are so large they're often located in basement labs, where the PhD students that work on them are shielded from all sources of light, social interaction, and hope. I once spent 3 months in the second year of my PhD searching for the source of some contamination in my data. It was dust. It was dust. And I won't ever get that time back. But science is about answering the hard questions. Hard, important questions such as, why the fuck was the mass spectrometer working yesterday and not today? Either I forgot to calibrate it, or it knows I'm trying to collect that final piece of data for my thesis and it's just trying to fuck with me. So in the end, what did I learn after those 4 years? Unfortunately, I didn't come up with a cure for Parkinson's. I did learn that you shouldn't share your lab with environmental chemists because you'll find soil in places you didn't think was possible for the next few months. I developed an unhealthy relationship with alcohol and caffeine. But most importantly, academia stripped me of my self-esteem, which is why I now seek validation from strangers like you. My therapist. By trying to make you laugh, of course, with jokes that I wrote using ChatGPT. But at least I get to call myself a doctor, so thank you very much.